You know, this game kind of reminds me of something. Can't put my finger on it. This is Spark the Electric Jester. And I know what you're thinking. Alex, it's quite obvious what this game reminds you of. It reminds you of a good game. Because it is a good game. Spark the Electric Jester is a game made by an indie developer, and I'm going to mess up part of his name. It's Felipe Daniluz? Daniluz? A Brazilian indie game developer. He was originally a fan game creator for the certain series you may have heard of, Sonic the Hedgehog series. And this game actually started development as a Sonic fan game. But he turned it into its own property. And I recently picked up the triple pack on Steam that has this game and its 2 sequels. So I thought I should do reviews of all 3 of the games. And here I am with the first game. Spark the Electric Jester follows Spark the Electric Jester, believe it or not. And he has lost his job. That's the story. He went to college for an engineering, in electrical engineering degree. Quickly found out that the college degree meant nothing. Worked at a circus until he got replaced by a robot. And now he is without a job, and robots are raining havoc. So Spark, I don't know, I guess Spark figures out he should go stop the robots. Maybe somebody will pay him for it, who knows. And thus the journey begins. The game is an interesting combination of Sonic the Hedgehog mixed with some other games. Kirby is a big one that comes to mind. Mega Man when it comes to the bosses. Also, I feel a little bit of Rocket Knight. This feels like a love letter to 16-bit platformers. Not just Sonic the Hedgehog. It feels like it takes the speed mechanic, but adds so many other elements that it makes it feel pretty different than just another Sonic the Hedgehog Genesis game. Which, even at that, the speed elements that do feel like Sonic still feel really fucking good. The part that makes it feel like Kirby is the fact that as you're playing, you get different hats. So hats change your abilities, and they can affect anything. It's crazy. The way that hats work, I found that I've done 2 playthroughs of this game, and I found that certain hats work better for different levels, actually, and some may hinder you in certain environments. So it's smart to change the hats based on where you are and also which bosses you're going to fight. Some of my favorite hats have been the hoverboard hat, where you get to ride a hoverboard. That one's really fun. I like the wind hat, where you get to, you're a lot faster and you get to do a lot more platforming. The hammer hat is really good for bosses, I found. The ice hat, you get to skate around, and also you get to do like an ice swirl in the air, which is pretty cool. The edgy hat gives you a sword and throwing knives, which is really fucking cool. There's a good number of different abilities in this game to play around with, and you'll find ones that you like. I really enjoyed that aspect of the game. It reminded me a lot of Kirby, but it felt unique enough, and adding that onto a more speedy platformer feels really fresh and new. There is actually a pretty decent narrative as you get further into the game. I'm not going to explain any of it here in this review because I do want you to actually play this game. And from what I know, I haven't played 2 or 3 yet, but from what I know, they actually build upon the narrative pretty well in those games as well. So I am excited to see what happens going forward. But yeah, the narrative is pretty cool. Some dialogue is very funny, and I enjoyed the game's story. The environments are fucking beautiful in this game. They look fantastic. There's many times where I got to a new environment and I was like, okay, what is this trying to be like? And none of them really feel like they're trying to resemble another game's environments. Even if they use something like lava or sand, they still mix it up enough to make it feel unique and make it feel like its own original idea for each level, which is also very refreshing in a time where, you know, we have a lot of indie platformers and some of them just do the basic, you know, forest, lava, volcano, you know, ice place. And this game does that, but it adds enough to make it feel fresh and fun. This game's pretty beefy. I'd say a good playthrough. This game takes you about maybe 3 hours. 3 so hours. It's got like 15... I wasn't counting. I think it was like 15 or 16 areas to roll through, which is a pretty good length for a 16-bit 2D platformer like this. It does the classic Sonic thing where you get to an area and it has like 2 acts basically. There's also like mid-level bosses and end bosses, and they're also very fun, even though even though I did find a few of them to be pretty easy to cheese when it comes to the weapons and stuff. I found a few of them that I could really just, I don't know, mash my way through. But for the most part, you can't do that, I found. There's a few of them that actually kind of punish you for that. But beware, you can cheese a little bit of it. I was very impressed. The music's really good in this game. Really good music in this game. It's fucking fantastic soundtrack. And I'm looking on the Wikipedia page here, and there are like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Wait. There are like 6 composers for this game, and man, they did a great job. This game's got one hell of a soundtrack. I'm glad they didn't just limit the game to having like a Sega Genesis style or Super Nintendo style, sounds. The soundtrack sounds really good and fits the journey that you're going to be going on. And overall, I really liked Spark the Electric Jester. I feel like coming from just being a Sonic fan game and turning it into its own original game, it works very well to stand on its own. I played it here on Steam. That's where I got the bundle with all 3 games. Let me look. I don't know if it got another... No, this one was only on... PC on Windows, I believe. So if you want to support Felipe, buy this game on Steam. Buy it on whatever service has it on PC, like Steam, and give it a try. It's a really, really awesome game. This is one that I would love to do on the button mappers for a map out. I feel like this would be a really cool game for a map out. I am excited to play the other 2 because I believe the second and third game are actually 3D platformers, which is very interesting to me because I've seen many different indie developers try their hand at like the 2D style speed platformer, but very rarely do I see anybody do the 3D style. So I'm curious how those turn out. I do want to review them. They're probably going to be what I do next after this video. In terms of reviews, I don't know if I'll put something else between those. I might. But in terms of reviews, I will probably do Spark 2 and Spark 3 following this. Yeah. It's pretty awesome. Pretty awesome game. Spark the Electric Jester. It reminds me of Gex? No, that's not it.